HVAC installs, or window replacement, or air conditioning, or insulation, and they don't think of the house as a system. They don't take ownership of the house. And a couple weeks ago, I was at the Air Conditioning Contractors National Conference, and you started to see some of the HVAC contractors saying, we need to own the house. It's our responsibility. We can't just be changing out boxes anymore. We really need to take responsibility for air sealing, insulating, getting the ducts sized and sealed properly, and then we can size the equipment to be efficient and make the whole house work. And the upside of that, as we've learned in states like California and New York, is that the scope of work is larger. The profitability of the company is higher by taking that responsibility, and the relationship with the customer is better long term. They trust you because you found solutions. So our model is that we want you to think about the house as a system, the whole house, and try and offer comprehensive solutions. Get your key staff certified so that they know what they're doing on the job and follow the standards in the work. At the end of the day, and I'll get into this in a minute, we want to say, do no harm. Test out. Make sure that you don't leave a condition that's adversely affecting the health and safety of the people living there. So we just learned a little bit about why people do this. It's very rarely someone who says, I need to reduce my carbon footprint. And it's not all that common that people call and say, my utility bills are too high. They usually say, I have a problem with a wet basement, or I have mold and mildew, or I have sinus problems, or if I'm uncomfortable in my house. I have drafts or rooms I can't bring the temperature in the summer or the winter. And so that's what gets you in the door, and then you're able to look and see, kind of look under the hood and find out what's going on. Now, you've probably seen this slide before. It comes from EPA. Let's see a show of hands. How many think that you've heard the notion that you can get a house too tight and it will cause problems? I'm going to try and debunk that myth today and offer an alternative. Let's just say, where does your fresh air come from in your house? And if you think about it, let's just use an example and pretend there in the bottom right that that's like a crawl space coming in. And you know what lives in crawl spaces? Rodents and other things. It's usually wet, it's dirt. There's a lot of things down there that you don't want. Chemicals. So if you look on the other side of that arrow at the band joist, so now you're facing the band joist and there's some insulation there, that's fiberglass, and it's blackened. The reason it's blackened is the air is moving through there, and that's the first stage of filtration. And fortunately for us, well, unfortunately for us, there's an air handling unit 15 feet away, usually, and that is taking that air and distributing it through the house. And then, fortunately for us, we say, well, at least we have air filters. But you ask yourself, where is that furnace filter slot? And it's on the end of the return. So the air is moving down through the return and across that furnace filter. So what it's effectively doing is protecting the blower motor from the air that we've just been breathing. This is air that we've breathed and is coming back into that furnace filter. So if you tighten the house, you can actually bring in the air that you want to breathe from a place that you feel more confident than the places I just showed you. And that's why we're doing this home performance thing. It really does affect. But I live in an old house. The health and safety of the people living there. Now, other things you look at are corrosion on hot water tanks. This could be an indication of spillage of gases, carbon monoxide. This is an easy test to verify that there isn't spillage. Other things like old pipe installations, which could be asbestos covered, that you want to be careful about removing. And then if you look at that same band joist again, pull out that insulation, air sealed properly, you can eliminate that air coming in. So proper air leakage control is absolutely imperative. From my perspective, it's #1 priority. The U.S. Department of Energy says that up to 40% of heat loss in a building is attributable to air movement, air infiltration into the building. So